This is going to be our project about food waste to fertilizer and potential thermal energy by Sage, Valeria, Melany, and Selma. So, global food waste. Globally, about 2.5 billion tons of food is wasted on average per year. In the US, it's equal to about 60 million tons, which equals to 120 billion pounds per year. It is estimated that 325 pounds of waste is produced by person, and along with 1/3 of global consumption is lost and wasted, which can equal to about $1 trillion lost. On the right, we included a graph or a chart that documents the food waste in most prevalent and affluent countries, with the United States being number 1 and India being at the bottom. We also decided to incorporate a slide of food waste throughout the restaurant industry. About 22 to 33 billion pounds of food is tossed in dine-in and carry-out, which do not include hotel services. On average, restaurants produce about 100,000 pounds of trash every year, which also about 162 billion food waste in cost is lost, and about 2 billion in profits is lost as well. On the left, we included a scatter plot which shows how the restaurant industry is most prevalent throughout food waste. And in the middle, we decided to add a little table, which is a guide for better restaurant management throughout waste, which can include resizing, measurements, partnerships, information, education, adaptation, and certification.
Okay, so the food waste in the US and Hawaii. 40% of the food in the US is not being eaten, which equals to $444 billion yearly. At the same time, 33.8 million Americans live in food insecure households. The annual food waste in Hawaii is about 33% higher than in other states, which averages of 533 million pounds of food per year. This accounts for 26% of the state's total food supply.
The Waikiki community. Waikiki was once a wetland environment used for farmland practices by the native Hawaiian communities. In the 1890s, the elite tourism came to Waikiki. In the 1901, the first hotel was built in the area, the Moana Hotel, followed by the Royal Hawaiian. Today, Waikiki is one of the most famous beaches in the world, boasting more than 4 million visitors every year. So why Waikiki? Rapid growth and immense development within the past century, and the role it plays as a social force in Hawaii. More than 4 million visitors a year, hotels, cruise ships, and casinos are prone to high food waste because of their buffets catering in large amounts of food production daily, which drive overproduction. The Waikiki Composting Program. The Waikiki Composting Program collects food waste from restaurants and turns it into compost for local farms and potentially energy. This will transform food waste into a resource that contributes to mitigation efforts, to climate change, while providing compost to local farms and potentially provide renewable energy sources to the area.
The importance of soil health. Soil is the combination of biotic and abiotic materials, often included eroded rock and organic plant and animal waste. The presence of organic matter is extremely important in maintaining the health of the soil by physical, biological, and chemical balances. Composting creates healthy, fertile soil which fosters the proper conditions needed for agricultural productivity. The proper soil conditions also increases the carbon sequestration potential of crops, effectively removing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and reducing the effects of climate change. Compost in a controlled environment. We can recreate this process in a controlled setting to more effectively produce compost and generate energy from the heat production. As the microorganisms are breaking down the organic matter within the closed system, oxygen is added, making the system aerobic. The heat generated inside compost piles by the productivity of the microbial community kills harmful bacteria, pathogens, and phytotoxic compounds, sanitizing the material for agricultural use. This heat can be processed in the form of fuel for heating of houses and other buildings. The process of decomposition. Degradation of organic matter through the process of decomposition is a natural phenomenon that allows for nutrients to return to soil. This process is part of the biogeochemical cycle that transfers nutrients and chemicals from producers to consumers to decomposers and then back to producers. It is a cycle that is vital for ecosystem productivity. During the process of decomposition, decomposers break down the initial bits of organic matter into smaller particles. Decomposers include nematodes, earthworms, and other soil insects. After these small invertebrates have done their part, microorganisms and fungi take over by degrading the plant and animal matter even further to create fertile soil. This is a model representing how this process would work. First, food waste is collected inside this chamber, and then the heat is transferred for energy production. The soil is also then used as compost for agricultural use.
We have a budget of $10,000, but including partnerships, this project will be possible. We have set off $5,000 for the development of the facility, which consists of bins, compost sectors, and maybe some transportation methods. We also have set off $1,500 for transportation provided by a partnership. We have set up $2,000 for the workforce and $1,500 for scientific equipment. We have the interests will be that the farmers pay $5 for the soil, and the hotels and restaurants pay $5 for the food waste. This will benefit the farmers with getting healthy soil, green business, and also reduce the need for GMOs or fertilizers and pesticides. It will benefit the hotels and restaurants to get the green certification, which will attract more tourists and visitors to get a higher total profit.
And then how will this project continue? So although we do have a budget of $10,000 and our thinking is extremely optimistic, we believe 50% of profits from farmers, hotels, and restaurants will allow us to continue, along with 15% in donations, 25% with investors, such as partnering with local disposal installations such as Sand Island, and along with having 10% of the community support will help create awareness and also promote education throughout our community. Lastly, thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions, you can please email our potential company email, and thank you so much.